In this module, you will understand the key messaging behind CommVault's overall technical value proposition and the core data management functions that CommVault software provides. Following the completion of this module, you will also be able to successfully position and differentiate CommVault from the competition. You will be able to conduct compelling technical sales discussions and CommVault product presentations with your prospects to generate interest and understand their business and technical challenges. Let's start by discussing a topic that is close to the hearts of many: the chaos in data management. Even for the last decade or more, managing data has been a difficult and sometimes daunting task. At the heart of it, the data itself. It's an interesting fact, and to quote a well-known proverb, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The reality is that even as new technology disruptions appear in the market, at the root of it all is the massive data growth. According to Gartner, managing data growth is the top IT data center priority in 2016. However, the chaos does not stop there. Typically, only a small portion of data equates to actual production data living inside business-critical systems and applications. That means that a much larger portion of data is consumed by secondary workloads. These activities are tying up resources, people, time, and infrastructure investment, all compounding the data growth challenge. The pace of change in the data center has quickened with the industry's big players jumping headlong into new technologies, leaving behind traditional IT with its solid processes and relatively slow pace of change. Companies must manage change and complexity while delivering better service levels and managing astronomical data growth. IT itself is changing every day. How it's consumed, what it's expected to provide, the speed at which it operates, and how it's organized, run, and paid for. Data is dominating strategic conversations in boardrooms, fundamentally changing business. CIOs and CTOs no longer desire to buy solutions to fix problems. They want to buy outcomes by turning their data insight into business foresight. Now, let's zoom in on some of the challenges and market dynamics of the recent past attributed to this chaos in data management. Many of these challenges will not be new to you, but they've grown and in some cases evolved. Firstly, the good old protection of traditional data, while still a challenge for many, is really only one minor piece of the puzzle. Environments continue to diversify and companies demand tighter integration between multiple applications and data sources. With so many interconnected parts, keeping track of the interdependencies is proving to be more and more challenging, especially considering the lack of robust reporting in most environments. In the same vein, the source of data generation is now spread across geographies and devices, beyond the data center and the cloud, from remote, branch, home offices, and edge devices. Regardless of the source, the value and criticality of the data remains, but the complexity of managing it increases. Another area that's still discussed frequently in the market is the concept of big data, and the challenges that customers are having contending with the massive data sets that are being generated. There are two ways to look at the big data challenge. For most customers, the biggest challenges they have are dealing with the ever-expanding data sets that they need to manage in their environment. When an organization was contending with data sets in the gigabytes, traditional methodologies of protection and management were sufficient. But as the volume of data continues to grow exponentially, from gigabytes to terabytes, and in many cases petabytes of data, traditional methods of management and protection will no longer suffice. In addition, despite storage costs, which diminish on a per terabyte basis year after year, the volume of data growth is outpacing savings, and the cost of storing data continues to grow exponentially. The other big driver around the big data phenomenon surrounds leveraging other tools in order to create business value from the mounds of information being collected. That said, the volume of data available, the wide variety of data in environments, and the velocity by which data characteristics change prove to be barriers to activating an organization's data. Now, who could forget virtualization? It's been a while since companies used virtualization as just a consolidation exercise. It is now commonplace to find data centers that are virtualized in their entirety, and for good reason. This competitive market provides value to companies through a rich feature set of technology, and the opportunities are endless. The data management challenge for companies today is dealing with huge, diverse, virtualized environments supported by hyperscale architectures and often spanning multiple underlying technologies. Think about it. How do you manage virtual machines spanning 2, 3, 4, or even more hypervisor stacks, let alone dealing with migration and recovery across different locations both on-premise and in the cloud? Did somebody say cloud? Virtualization has also been a catalyst for the migration to cloud-based as-a-service offerings. Multi-tenancy and IT as a utility have not only blurred the data center's role, but have also driven wider adoption of all virtualization technologies: server, storage, and networking. This move has meant that protection, manageability, and dynamic reaction to change have become high-priority business items that need to be addressed. The mobilization trend within the corporate workforce has put new challenges on IT staff in data centers everywhere. Now, mobile users need access to critical data and applications wherever they may be. Even if a company's workforce is not inherently mobile, bring your own device policies and the continued growth of data residing on smartphones and tablets pose similar issues to data centers across the world. In addition, the enforcement of IT policies and protection of data residing outside the data center become critical for successful IT operations. The bring your own device trend is also exacerbated by users becoming more savvy and being accustomed to having access to their data anytime, anywhere, and on demand, which leads to expectations of higher SLAs from their IT departments. With the growth of data management, the burden of e-discovery has shifted to IT. For most companies, stopping tape rotation and farming the media to a third party is no longer an effective means of addressing discovery requests. IT's role in legal discovery has grown to ensure that the right data is being captured so that the organization is capable of supplying the necessary information for litigation or compliance purposes without disrupting overall business operations. And last, but certainly not least, is the fact that CIOs are being tasked with these increasing burdens while concurrently hiring full-time IT staff has flatlined or even reduced due to economic pressures. New disruptive technology continues to emerge in the market to tackle many of the data center challenges that we have already discussed. While this technology can be very effective at addressing one set of complexity, it can also inadvertently create another. Take virtualization technology as a historic example. When virtualization technology hit the market, it certainly saved companies a lot of money on physical servers and provided new opportunities for disaster recovery. However, it immediately created a whole new set of challenges. For example, how do I protect these workloads now that they are virtualized and sharing resources with others? And how do I manage and control the proliferation of virtual machines now that it is so easy to deploy a new server into my environment? One of the newer infrastructure technologies seeing a greater impact on data centers today is hyperconvergence. Hyperconvergence contains the complexities involved in virtualization management, storage management, and infrastructure management. By converging these technologies into a unitary solution that can be managed by a single individual, companies are able to make much more significant strides in simplifying the data center and relieving strain on the workforce. When it comes to managing data aboard a hyper-converged architecture, the picture becomes a bit more hazy. On the surface, products from the hyper-convergence vendors look fundamentally very similar. However, delve deeper and the differences start to appear. Vendors are converging different layers of the architecture, the hypervisor, compute, and storage layers, while leveraging various types of standard and native technologies. This appliance-type design provides increased scalability and masks the management complexity of large storage arrays. From a data management perspective, the convergence of these infrastructures can cause traditional features to become obsolete, and to where physical access and software integration points become invisible. This introduces new challenges of how to protect data and applications consistently across the environment. Another technology that has become a forefront in many IT discussions is the idea of file and sync share. It's a blessing and a burden for many IT departments. While it could easily reduce the reliance on NAS technology, which has been horribly difficult to control storage growth within, much less backup and restore the infrastructure components, most of the utilities used to sync and share fall outside the data center and outside its control. Data loss prevention has come to the forefront at a much faster pace than anticipated, in large part due to this technology adoption. Businesses are striving to stay ahead of their competition, and having the right data analytics can help them make the right business decisions to stay ahead in their respective markets. As you've already heard, businesses today are good at creating and storing data. However, the data tied to these multiple siloed applications and repositories results in an accessibility bottleneck due to the lack of discovery and insight into the data itself. Combining analytics from disparate data sources would provide better insight and provide more valuable solutions. Simply storing the data doesn't add value, but value can be added to the data that is already stored. Finally, the maturation of the cloud has been a significant advance in IT as well. Whether it is moving production workloads into elastically scalable cloud environments, cloud-based DevOps, or even using the cloud as a DR site, the momentum of use cases for cloud infrastructure and platforms has scaled well beyond a mere storage dumping ground. Beyond this, the push to run software as a service platform, storing corporate data in the cloud on obfuscated infrastructure platforms presents another issue for IT to grapple with. IT itself is changing every day. How it's consumed, what it's expected to provide, the speed at which it operates, and how it's organized, run, and paid for. Similarly, data protection has come a long way, moving from simple backup and archive to more robust functions, including deduplication, e-discovery, filtering, searching, and more. With the advent of new technologies, data protection has become even more complex, now needing to accommodate more devices, many locations, and many formats. And security concerns mean companies want visibility and control from data inception and all along the data lifecycle. Data is dominating strategic conversations in boardrooms, fundamentally changing business. CIOs and CTOs care about data in private clouds, on-premise, on mobile devices, and in public clouds in their quest to provide agile and efficient solutions while dealing with exploding volumes of data. They care about the complexity caused by volumes of data in disparate locations, and the impact that has on the speed of their business because of the need to do more with less while retaining management and control. In short, it must be always on and always available. They care about modernizing legacy systems and applications because the volume, velocity, and variety of data streaming into and across the enterprise is overwhelming to legacy systems. CIOs need faster and more agile storage solutions to meet demand, but they don't want to be locked into any one vendor. They care about anywhere workers and supporting mobility and the incumbent data and data security challenges within the enterprise because it's their current reality, and they are pressured to enable efficiency and meet user needs, to have seamless and universal access to their data wherever their business needs it. They care about big data because of the inherent analytics power and opportunities it enables, with search built in and support for analytics in their data management solutions. It's a challenging time indeed, but also one of opportunity for those who are up to the challenge. When we look at how organizations have addressed data management issues historically, it has been primarily with a silo approach. But as data management challenges have emerged, organizations have invested in point solutions to address them. Oftentimes, this is due to the fact that their legacy solutions cannot accommodate the new emerging protection and management needs. In a silo approach, customers are left with islands of infrastructure scattered throughout an organization. All of this hardware has costs associated with it that can contribute to non-optimized and inefficient infrastructure spend. One of the obvious burdens of having a multitude of solutions in a single environment is the operational aspect. Often, the solutions are spread across multiple functional groups, and valuable resources are pulled away from their core competencies and value to help with the data management functions. The redundant data in organizations is also highly problematic. Some of this is due to obvious reasons, such as the same files being housed across multiple users. But we also see inefficient use of storage due to application owners' tendency to overprotect their digital assets. In non-optimized, non-managed environments, the redundancy of data can lead to wasted storage and increased costs. The bottom line is that customers end up with multiple point solutions that have minimal or no integration points across them, even though they are dealing with the same data on the back end. If we look at the industry's largest vendors in the market, they've actually propagated this issue. As data management challenges have emerged in the market, many of the organizations in this space have grown their portfolios by acquiring organizations whose products address specific needs. For sake of example, when deduplication began to emerge as a viable and effective technology, the major backup and recovery providers went shopping to acquire niche organizations that could facilitate their presence in this arena. You will invariably hear providers talk about buying best-of-breed solutions to build their portfolio. But remember, only one can be the best of breed. Then you are left with the best of whatever is left over. You'll also hear about the integration of these disparate solutions, but it is usually an iterative process that takes place over multiple releases of software packages. Much of the development efforts are focused on integration at the expense of innovation. Other vendors focus on a single or small subset of market challenges. Some do a reasonable job within that single solution offering, but due to their lack of depth and limited capabilities, that's really all they can do. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a solution that could help you quell your data demons? Orchestrate your data like a fine-tuned symphony? Protect your data so that you can sleep at night? And help you derive value at the same time? Allow you to do all of this, but at a pace that meets your organization's needs? For the last 20 years, CommVault has consistently addressed its customers' needs with a single platform that is unique in the data management industry. The secret of this success? A single, scalable platform engineered for innovation that is continuously improving and evolving, and a proven heritage of anticipating and addressing emerging data management needs. The combination of one virtual data repository combined with a single universal index and highly automated management and operations framework means you can handle the challenges of data growth, data velocity, increasing regulatory and governance requirements, and extracting more value out of your data by activating it. The CommVault platform has all of this native functionality built in, ready to be enabled at any time. This means a customer can choose to address a single data management challenge today, or at the other end of the scale, replace up to 20 individual products with their dedicated infrastructure and siloed data repositories. This enables our customers to actually reduce operational costs, shrink their administrative burden, while scaling their data management to meet never-ending growth. CommVault offers extensive data management support across an exhaustive range of vendors, as well as the integration and safeguarding of the most critical applications and databases. It allows organizations to protect and recover data quickly and efficiently, and with the widest support of hardware-based snapshot technology in the industry, allows them to embrace snapshot protection as a standard integrated component of their data management strategies. Regardless of whether the data resides on physical, virtual, hyper-converged architectures, or endpoint devices, hosted on-premise, in the cloud, or someplace in between, your data is under your control with CommVault. CommVault also allows customers to start unlocking the potential of new, disruptive, and open standard technologies, improving service levels while minimizing the inherent risk of adopting new technology. Now let's be honest, data is not easy, but with CommVault software, we've got you covered. For the 6th consecutive year, CommVault has earned a leadership position on Gartner's Magic Quadrant for enterprise backup software and integrated appliances. This is a validation of our market leadership, innovation, and ability to execute in an extremely competitive industry. It is a testament to our consistency, reliability, and ability to adapt in a constantly changing industry. In our opinion, this positioning continues to validate CommVault's approach to backup and recovery software and appliances. It also highlights our success in providing modern data management solutions to enterprise customers worldwide. While the report is focused on evaluating backup and recovery solutions, Gartner recognizes CommVault's extensive product portfolio and leadership in other areas, stating, quote, "Looking beyond basic backup, CommVault's portfolio offers the ability to mine and repurpose backup for test, development, analytics, and disaster recovery, as well as public cloud integration that offers the same rich set of data services." End quote. You can see the full report by clicking through this link. Remember the competition? They cover a lot of jobs, but the apps weren't built to work together. Integration is tough, and there's not a lot of communication, consistency, or collaboration between them. CommVault lets you orchestrate your entire data organization with an open, standards-based approach to managing data with the flexibility to support your infrastructure strategy, bringing an end to legacy point solutions and lock-in. Remember those point solutions? Sure, some of them do the job, but where does the customer turn for his next data center fix? Probably to another completely separate technology, one that doesn't integrate with the other products and requires its own dedicated hardware. Their IT staff will need to train on yet another product. All of these factors compound the data management challenge and ultimately cost the customer more money. CommVault keeps it simple, allowing a customer to purchase a number of popular solution bundles. All the functionality and benefits of the CommVault software platform are built in and can be unlocked by expanding the solution at any time. No wasted infrastructure, personnel, or processes, just simple, scalable data management. It's not just the CommVault software platform that keeps us leading the way in data management. CommVault is proud to boast the best enterprise software in the industry by a single global team, resulting in greater customer intimacy. A proactive philosophy means customers are made aware of problems before they happen, and problems are resolved before they occur. This saves time, lowers risk and costs, and increases peace of mind. Our experienced consultants reveal new ways to make a customer's data a powerful strategic asset. We provide transformational insights that align to each specific business and how they gather, retain, and employ data. APIs and workflows enable our team to automate and make strategic recommendations, ensuring immediate and sustainable customer value. CommVault Education Services significantly increase self-sufficiency and productivity with a full coverage curriculum and 3-tier certification program delivered globally. Finally, we test, architect, and jointly develop solutions with the leading cloud and virtualization, storage and infrastructure, and enterprise application providers globally to deliver more capable and complete solutions to the customer. Now let's look at how some customers have deployed the CommVault software platform to solve many of the data management challenges we have previously discussed. In this sample customer's environment, initial investment and deployment involved some of the core functionalities around data protection that CommVault provides. The CommServe acts as the overall master and commander in an environment. It is here where much of the metadata in an environment is stored, including policies, security, and licensing information. The media agent is the server or servers, as media agents can be added to accommodate performance needs, that attach to the storage where data will ultimately reside and are responsible for the movement of data through an environment. This customer also invested in the protection of some of their key application and server assets, including Exchange, Oracle, SharePoint, Active Directory, and a variety of file servers that require protection. Regardless of the platform or application, the systems are protected via the CommCell console as depicted here in the upper right-hand corner. The customer also had a significant number of their servers virtualized using VMware. To accommodate the unique needs of protecting virtualized environments without adding unnecessary processing and burden to the virtual machines, they utilized our virtual environment protection capabilities with our VSA, or Virtual Server Agent. Again, the familiar CommCell console is leveraged to protect the virtual environment with methodologies and operations that are common with the protection of physical environments. From a data management perspective, snapshots provide organizations with extremely high recovery time and recovery point objectives, but their adoption has traditionally been fairly limited due to the complexity of integrating them into the overall data management scheme. CommVault IntelliSnap eliminates this complexity and allows customers to easily and seamlessly integrate snapshots into their data management best practices. At a high level, CommVault ties into the storage array's APIs and initiates OS and application consistent snapshots based on predefined schedule policies. It can then selectively mount a particular snapshot and drive a backup operation, including the cataloging and processing of the data, off-host and without impact to the production servers. We can then take that protection copy of data and leverage our auxiliary copy technology to copy it across a wide variety of storage tiers based on storage policy retention schemes. Data copies can be stored on a wide variety of targets, including disk, tape, or even cloud, as we integrate with a broad variety of cloud storage providers. Companies today generate a lot of data files. These files are created by multiple sources and exist in various locations across a company's storage infrastructure. Most of these files contain unstructured data in the form of emails, documents, and digital media. Unlike structured data, which reside in organized databases, unstructured data files are notoriously difficult to manage. Often, the amount of unstructured data created within a company can put a strain on storage resources. In fact, this exponential growth of unstructured data, common to many corporate environments, has been given the name big data. CommVault Data Analytics allows you to view statistical information about the unstructured big data in your environment, such as files and emails. With the information discovered using data analytics, you can quickly access the current state of your big data and take actionable steps to retrieve valuable storage space and mitigate the risk of compliance-related issues. Here, the customer implemented our Intelligent Archive solution and migrated stale email and file data to a less costly storage platform within Content Store. The cost savings achieved far outweighed the initial software investment, and their data was housed on a tier of storage appropriate to its criticality and business value. With CommVault, organizations also have the capability to move data to other tertiary tiers of storage over time, such as tape or cloud storage, thus affecting even greater efficiencies and cost savings. As discussed at the onset of this module, one of the challenges facing many customers is the protection and management of data as it continues to grow at exponential levels. Traditionally, data management has been handled as a series of distinct processes that are performed against the data. For example, one process may be leveraged to scan the file system of a particular server and initiate the backup process. Yet another process may be performed to identify stale data and archive that data. And in order to garner enough information to provide robust reporting on that data, yet another process may be performed. Similarly, the traditional process of conducting weekly full backups with incremental or differentials conducted on a daily basis is still the preferred methodology in many legacy data management environments. When organizations were dealing with datasets in the gigabytes, or even low terabytes, these methods, though sometimes inefficient, usually fit the bill for sufficient protection. But as datasets grow, as we have seen, these traditional methodologies tend to break. Regardless of client data or data resident on a NAS device, traditional methods of data management are increasingly breaking under the pressure. With CommVault OnePass technology, the protection, archive, and reporting on data are reduced to a single process in which after the initial data protection operation, there is no additional burden on the source of the data, as archive operations and reporting operations are performed on the back-end media agents. This can dramatically increase performance over traditional methodologies. By continuously striving to develop technologies that maximize the efficiency of moving data, CommVault software is built to handle the demands of today's datasets. CommVault also provides customers highly flexible and efficient deduplication capabilities to dramatically reduce back-end storage needs as well as reduce the overall backup window. At a high level, deduplication is a process which compares the blocks in an incoming data stream to the blocks that have already been written to a target. If a redundant block is recognized, a reference to that block is stored in a database, but the actual data is not written to the storage target again. We'll be covering deduplication in greater detail in a later module. Deduplication is an inherent feature of the CommVault software platform. Keep in mind, despite what others may tell you, deduplication by itself is not a solution. It is a feature. CommVault deduplication scales to support the most demanding workloads and lets you dedupe anywhere. At source, at target, and in the cloud. To help reduce their CapEx costs and increase flexibility, this customer is commissioning all things cloud. Firstly, they utilize CommVault's dash copy functionality to create a secondary copy by replicating the data over the network to an external cloud provider's storage solution. The customer decided to move away from tape as it was more cost-effective to keep their data in the cloud for long-term retention purposes. CommVault can further increase infrastructure efficiency with the fact that our built-in software deduplication helps them reduce the impact on their bandwidth and get data to the cloud and drastically reduce the cost of cloud storage. Also, as you will hear momentarily, creating a secondary copy in the cloud opens up a world of possibilities on what they can now do with that data. The customer also wanted to reduce some of their operational and financial burdens of maintaining local infrastructure by reducing their data center footprint. They began to deploy elastic compute workloads in the cloud, meaning they only pay for what they need and what they use. As they started to provision new application workloads, they also expanded their CommVault infrastructure into the cloud. This strategy was enabled by CommVault's flexible, agile, and agnostic approach, allowing the customer to deploy the core CommVault components they needed into the cloud while still maintaining their ability to manage their data operations from a single interface and move the data to an alternate location. Now the possibilities start to open up. The customer's previous DR plan involved a whole pile of tapes and paying a lot of money to a DR provider. The customer was faced with massive RTOs and the inability to test their DR strategy effectively. A copy of their data is already in the cloud, and so is their backup infrastructure. So, by making public cloud a viable platform for disaster recovery, this enabled the organization to extend DR to more workloads. Because they don't have to invest in replica hardware or even run a cloud instance 24/7, all of a sudden DR for almost any application is within reach. With CommVault, you can restore and convert VMware and Hyper-V based VMs into AWS and Azure workloads. And we've been doing out-of-place SQL and Oracle database restores for generations. All of a sudden, now this means that you can have cold DR available when you need it, and you can take it further, remembering that restoring an application isn't just restoring a VM or a DB. It needs to have the proper validation. That validation is a process that can now be automated within CommVault utilizing the inherent workflow engine. And the cost nature of cloud means that the customer could shift their cost module from paying for availability to paying per DR event and budgeting for just the DR events that they want to test out, as well as this now being OpEx instead of CapEx. This customer also decided not to renew their premise-based data center lease, and following a corporate mandate had to move as many workloads to the cloud as possible. Remember that the customer is already performing disaster recovery testing and automation? Well, migration just becomes an extension of that process. In fact, it's just like running a DR test, except that you do not need to delete the recovered workload afterwards. Finally, the development and operations teams were experiencing long delays and were spending too much of their time waiting for other departments to handle their requests. However, with CommVault, the customer was soon able to simplify and automate these laborious processes through CommVault's VM provisioning, live app recovery, and workflow automation engine. All of the elements above combine to provide the customer with greater agility to respond to the needs of the business. Their human resources are freed up from inefficiency, allowing them to respond quickly. More budget is available to devote to strategic projects, and they have more infrastructure options at their fingertips. Another area of functionality that CommVault software can address is the capability to index across and search against all of your data within your environment with our content indexing and search capabilities. Whether the data has been backed up, archived, is in PST files that can be ingested, or production email that is journaled, CommVault technology indexes the data and provides robust search capabilities for end users, with added compliance features for HR and legal teams. The final data management solution that we will address here is the protection of endpoint data in environments. With the advent of mobile computing, more and more companies' digital assets and information resides on remote laptops and desktops. With the CommVault Endpoint Data Protection solution, we can apply the same policy-based data management and protection to remote data. As you will learn later, the Edge Endpoint solution does not end there. As well as protecting your data against breaches, we can also increase productivity through end-user self-service capabilities. End users have immediate access to their data, regardless of where it is created, and can securely share, search, and restore files from their desktop, laptop, or other mobile devices without assistance. Edge solutions provide global access to distributed files and documents without using third-party file sharing and cloud backup services, which are outside the security and control of corporate IT solutions. To wrap up, CommVault software for data protection and information management helps organizations manage data growth, cut costs, and reduce risk by simplifying data management functions through a single, unified platform and architecture. Our common code base ensures that you've purchased not only a product that is mature, but also stable and proven. The extensibility of the platform to deliver new features and functionality to meet emerging needs provides future-proofing of the data center along with investment protection.